Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine Young and I'm a professional creative. And today we're going to talk specifically to those creatives who want to do all the things. Like you just have so many ideas you don't know what to do with them. I'm talking to you. This video is for you. Call yourself a multi-passionate creator. Call yourself somebody who wants to do all the things. Call yourself a Renaissance soul. That's actually my favorite one to call myself. Anyways, you are a different breed of creative. You are the type of person that gets ideas all the time, all the time. Ideas are just coming into your head all the time, right? And it happens to me. I'm even getting ideas while I'm doing this video. What I want to do is just, I want in this video to talk about, instead of industry standard, let's talk about artist specific, and let's talk about what it means to be somebody who wants to do all the ideas. Okay, first thing is first. This video is your permission to do all the things. You don't have to niche down if you don't want. You don't have to focus on one thing. You don't have to be that person who just is known for that one thing. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that, okay? And so what gives me the right to say that? Well, I am that person. I do all the things. I do tons of different things. I don't just do one thing. And I just want to talk to you about, different tricks and tips that I have had that have really worked for me and helped me do all the things, and maybe some of them will help you. So for me personally, every time I have tried to niche down or be the person that does the one thing, I get resentful as all hell, and I just get bitter. Like I get bitter, I get bored, I get shiny object syndrome, and I'm like, oh, new project, and I just don't want to work on that one thing anymore. I have done all sorts of things where I was going to be the artist that did just quilled paper, or the artist that was going to do mixed media upcycling, and then I was the artist that was going to do pet portraits. And no, I am not the artist that just does those one things. Like, I'm just not. Even now, I just wrote and published a book. And am I going to be the person who writes books only on social media etiquette? Absolutely not. That is not the person I'm going to be. I do more than just one thing. And putting me in a box and saying you should do the one thing over and over and over again makes me bitter and makes me angry. So if you have ever kind of had that feeling where like you just get bitter, you just don't want to work on a project anymore, you just don't like doing the same thing all the time, you aren't alone. There are so many of us that feel that way. So my first big tip for the person who wants to do all the things is to write the ideas down. I can't tell you how important this is. Write them down. Write them down on your phone. Write them in a notebook. I have multiple places where ideas live, but I get ideas all the time. All the time. They're going through my head right now. And so I always write them down. And sometimes I get really elaborate. Sometimes it's pages long of information. And sometimes it's just an inkling of an idea. Write it all down. Because if you don't write it down, the weight of those ideas, the weight of those unacknowledged ideas are going to weigh on you, okay? They're just going to make you feel overwhelmed and exhausted. And they're going to, quite honestly, they're going to derail you from doing other things because you just can't get it out of your head. So get the idea out of your head and onto paper. The next tip I have is to define your goals. And I know that seems really freaking vague, in all honesty, that seems really vague. But what I mean by that is, there is a reason it is industry standard for creatives to niche down and do one thing. It's because they have very certain goals. They have certain goals of making a living or growing followings to promote other projects of theirs. There's very certain goals, right? So I kept seeing all these people niche down and become known for something. But at the end of the day, I work full time, and so it doesn't matter if I niche down. It also doesn't matter if I grow a huge following because I don't need that huge following to make an income. So if you have goals in mind, write them down. Write down how you achieve goals. If your goal is really just, I want to have fun creatively, then why the hell are you worrying about the Instagram algorithm? Why are you worrying about curating your feed perfectly? Why are you worrying about being the person that does teddy bear portraits? Why are you worrying about being known for that? Don't define your creativity by something that isn't a goal for you. So one great idea to kind of just rethink your artist presence, rethink whether you need to do one thing or you can do multiple things, is to really look outside our industry and how people are doing it. For me, I could never find all the pieces of myself. It didn't make sense. Like, I didn't know how to put all the things I love to do all in one, right? And I kept looking at all these other artist portfolios and their website and how they did things. And they were just so niche down and so specific, and it just didn't apply to me. I was like, I don't get this. This doesn't work, right? So look at outside our industry. For me, I found an actress, and I was like, hey, I love how she presents herself. I love how she is a total brand with all different attributes. I love the way her website is set up. And none of it feels confusing. All of it feels like her. And I'm going to model what I do after that because that works. So don't be afraid to look outside our industry for maybe ideas how to present yourself as a brand, even with lots of passions and lots of different things. So this next tip is around goals yet again. I highly recommend you doing an annual list of goals of things you want to achieve. For me, it's usually those ideas that bubble to the top that I really want to do. And I'm like, you know what? I would love to do this, that, and the other thing. In fact, let me just list this year's goals for me. This year's goals was to draw every day. I can tell you right now I haven't done it. To get my book published. I've done that. I want to pitch a children's book. In progress. I want to get a life coach. Just did that. And I want to pitch a tarot deck. So I'm going that way too. So all these things are out there, right? But giving myself goals gives me direction, right? Notice how all these goals are just lots of different things. They aren't necessarily the same thing. That is okay. As long as you see these big buckets, these big things that you want to do, you can pull down from like every single idea and put a little more energy, a little more oomph towards different ones. And that'll help you get more done in the year. And I can tell you right now, you can get more done than you think you can, but you can't get everything done that you think you can. One of the biggest tricks with doing all the things is knowing you can do all the things, but you can't do them at once. You can. You absolutely can do everything you want to do. You just can't get them all done at once. And for me, that has been a really big realization of, hey, I'm going to push this project forward now. I'm going to push this project forward now. I'm going to put this project forward now. And it has really helped me get things done. So you can do all the things, I promise you. You just might need to take a season of time to work on one and then move on and work on the other. Also remember, because we are multi-passionate, doing all these different things actually fills our cup. Like doing all these different things actually makes us better creatives, and it actually helps us get better at the different things that we like to do. So even if you have goals, even if you're going through one at a time, don't beat yourself up if you switch over to doing something else. Like right now, I'm recording a YouTube video. I also have on my plate ads for my book to work on, but I'm switching it up because it helps me not get resentful about my work. Another really cool benefit of diversifying up our time and diversifying up things we do is you can think about your different projects you work on and the different things you want to do as different hobbies. Now, let me just be clear. If you're making money from these different buckets, I still don't think it has to be removed from the hobby bucket, okay? I don't think hobby is a dirty word. In fact, I think hobby is a great word for things. It means something you have passion towards, something you want to put time towards. And I think that's beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with the word hobby. So just think about this. All these different hobbies you put things towards, right? You're putting times towards this, you're putting times towards that, you're putting time towards this. What's really cool is that as a multi-passionate creator, A little bit of this feeds into a little bit of that. Something you learned here helps you out over here. How many people have hobbies where the hobbies feed into each other and help lift up all the things? Not many people. Many people have hobbies where the hobby is strictly recreation and has nothing to do with filling a bigger picture or making them a better creative as a whole. So do not feel guilty about having to switch over, about having to do other hobbies, about the differences, about pivoting. Do not feel bad about that. All these pieces are building up to make you a better creative. Another tip I have is to be realistic about your time. Now, I always have to laugh. Like, there's this dumb saying, like, Beyonce has the same 24 hours a day, or something like that, right? Beyonce has a team, y'all. Like, she has a team, okay? But that doesn't disregard the fact of how much she gets done, right? We all can only get done so much. And I think people have to be really realistic with their time. I highly, highly recommend doing a time audit and really looking at how you spend your day. Because if you have all these things you want to do, are you watching 5 hours of reruns of The Office every day? And here's the thing. I think relaxation and just numbing out and watching TV is completely okay. But you have to be honest with yourself. If you really want to get all these things done, if you really want to do all these multi-passions, you might have to reorganize your time to do that, okay? So many people don't get all their different passions done just because they didn't allocate time towards it. And, you know, people always ask me, like, how'd you get this done? How'd you get that done? I didn't put time towards a lot of things a lot of people put time towards. I don't watch TV the way people put time towards TV. I don't do a lot of things that are considered just regular activities, that are just considered regular ways to spend your time, because I know that time spent can be better spent on something else. And the last tip for a creator who wants to do all the things seems pretty obvious, but you can change. You can change. If you don't like the road you went down, if you don't like the way you niche something, if you don't like how broadly you set something up and it's not working, hell, you can change. No one says you can't change. You're not locked into this strategy the rest of your life. Heck, next month you can be like, that strategy didn't work. I'm going for a new one. There's nothing wrong with changing your strategy and changing what you're doing. Hell, you are better at changing than most creatives. That is your strength. Changing is your strength. So just don't worry. Make a decision, go with it. If it doesn't work, change it up. You guys, that's all I have for you today. So, oh my goodness. What do you, like, was some of that helpful? Did some of that just kind of like ring in your ears? You know, I am one of those people that I have new ideas all the time. And I was listening to Christine McConnell one day, and she said, one of my greatest fears is I'm going to die before I can get all my ideas done. And it struck me in the heart. I was like, I actually feel that way. I actually feel like I am not going to get all the things done. And, you know, it's just, sometimes you need to hear that there are other people out there like that. Sometimes you need to hear that there aren't people that are niche down so completely and are the teddy bear portrait artists, right? Sometimes you need to hear that there are people out there that are doing all the things and are doing it well. And I hope this resonated with you. I hope this gave you permission to do all the things. And oh my God, please tell me about your next project. I would love to hear about it. And if you want to hear more artist tips, give me a subscribe. These aren't going away anytime soon. I do all kinds of different videos. As you can notice, I can't niche down just to one thing. What? Okay, well, have a good day, guys. Bye. That's my cat doing things. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Wait.